person seriously injured in East El Paso, what court documents reveal. Plus, a tariff exemption is ending this week. We're going to explain how this could impact your wallet. And Robert, you're talking about rain chances, but when can we expect the best chances for rain?
Monica, we got a slight chance of isolated storms tonight, but a much better chance of thunder showers on Wednesday. I'll have your detailed forecast. We're live on KTSM 9 Plus, and your news starts right now.
You're watching KTSM 9 News First at 4. Starts right now.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9 Plus, your digital show. I'm Monica Cortez. An investigation is underway after two people are found dead in an East El Paso neighborhood. Take a look at your screen. This is a live picture at that scene right now. Detectives with the Crimes Against Persons were sent to the 11,800 block of Chelita Drive. Now, that's actually close to Vista del Sol Drive and Vista del Sol Elementary School. Now, what we do know is that El Paso police, they tell KTSM that the call came in as a 911 unknown problem just before 9 this morning, and our newsroom is working to get you more information as we are out there on the scene. Well, over to an update now on a story we first brought you last week. An El Paso fire lieutenant has admitted to drinking and being on his phone moments before crashing into a motorcyclist about a week ago. Lieutenant Manuel Esquivel Alvarez is charged with intoxication assault with a vehicle, resulting in serious bodily injuries after crashing into a three-wheel motorcycle last Tuesday on Gateway East. Video shared on social media shows the scene of the crash where a blue Honda Civic is seen on top of that pink motorcycle. Now, documents do say that Alvarez told police he had 2 or 3 tall beers and was coming from Cabo Joe's and was on his way home. Alvarez told police he was driving and using his phone. He allegedly told the officer that traffic slowed down, and that's when he crashed into their motorcycle. The victim was taken to a hospital with serious injuries, and the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission tells KTSM they are investigating Cabo Joe's. As of last week, the city of El Paso confirmed Alvarez was still employed with the fire department. A global nonprofit today honored fallen Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office Deputy Antonio Aleman. Aleman died in the line of duty on July 8th after he crashed into the back of a semi-truck on Interstate 10 in Las Cruces. To honor Aleman, nonprofit Point 27 sent gifts of thin blue lined shields of strength dog tag necklaces inscribed with Bible verses to the Doña Ana County Sheriff's Office for Aleman's partner and the deputies who served closely with him. The group also gifted keepsake folded flag pendant necklaces inscribed with John 15:13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends, for his family. Point 27 says the design and scripture were chosen by law enforcement officers. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break from these headlines and talk about weather, because here is what we are seeing outside. Clear blue skies. There are a few clouds in the sky, and that is signaling that, hey, we might get to see a little bit of rain sometime soon. Let's go ahead and send things over to Chief Meteorologist Robert Bettis. Mr. Robert, when can we expect to see this rain? Okay, well, we get a slight chance tonight. We're going to see little isolated storms this evening, much more widely scattered action tomorrow evening. So a good chance of rain, especially on Wednesday. Right now at the airport, we've got 93 degrees. We've got a dew point. Look at that dew point. Told you it would jump. That monsoonal moisture has come back to us. It's realigned with the borderland, and therefore we can expect that chance of thunder showers to be with us for a while, especially heading into the Labor Day weekend, where it could get quite stormy, and I'll tell you which days I'm concerned about. Right now, little spotty isolated cells. Not a great chance of rain tonight, but we do have isolated storms. For example, this one right near Chaparral. And look at that rainfall. Remember, we're in the middle of the monsoon, so nature, once it gets that moisture back, ooh, it can unlock quickly. And so that's the forecast for tomorrow. We can expect brief, heavy rain out of some thunder showers that will primarily hit in the early afternoon and evening hours. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up
in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take you outside using our TechStop cameras, and this is what we are seeing. A little bit of slow and go on I-10 Prospect. You can see that there's some, it looks like utility trucks out there. Just make sure you're taking extra time as you're heading on out to avoid any kind of delays. Well, Customs and Border Protection released details on a pedestrian crash after a woman from Ecuador was hit by two cars on the border highway and dying as a result. According to CBP officials, the incident happened back on August 17th, a half-mile west of the Bridge of the Americas. An agent spotted the woman crawling out of a nearby canal and running towards the fence by the border highway. Officials say the woman ignored the agent's orders to stop. She climbed over the fence and ran across the highway before being struck by two cars. The woman died at the scene. The El Paso Police Department say they continue to investigate this incident. And the El Paso County Sheriff's Office is asking for your help in identifying a man who may have been involved in a theft in East El Paso. According to the Sheriff's Office, the incident happened along Horizon Boulevard, and the suspect is said to go by the name Coyote, described a Hispanic male with tattoos on both arms and last seen wearing a black t-shirt, gray pants, and gray shoes. Anyone with information is being asked to contact the El Paso County Sheriff's Office at the number you see right there on your screen. Well, in national news, a tariff exemption is ending this week, and in today's Political Minute, News Nation's Washington Bureau Chief Mike Viqueira explains how it could impact consumers.
The cost of some low-priced imports is set to change. I'm Mike Viqueira, News Nation Washington Bureau Chief. Friday marks the end of what's called the de minimis exception. It's a shipping rule that impacts many common consumer goods. The exception allows packages at or under $800 to enter the United States without facing tariffs. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, de minimis shipments were valued at more than $1.3 billion in 2024. Imported products from many e-commerce sites like Temu and Shein have benefited from this exception. Last month, President Trump signed an executive order ending that exemption, saying bad actors have exploited the rule to avoid tariffs or to get illegal substances into the country. Some mail companies from France, Germany, the UK, and India have temporarily suspended some services to the United States. However, letters or personal gifts that are worth less than $100 won't be affected, according to postal operators. I'm Mike Viqueira, and this is the News Nation Political Minute.
Well, coming up, we first told you this yesterday about Daniel Villegas. He's the man who was falsely imprisoned in the 1993 double murder and spent 20 years behind bars. Well, now he's given the go-ahead to sue the city, and we shared this story on our social media. A lot of you had a lot to say. We're going to go over your thoughts in our In the Comments segment. And the city of Sunland Park is celebrating the start of construction on a new Valero travel center. We're going to tell you when it will be completed a little later in this newscast. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, putting local first.
to value. You get 2 pairs of free eye exam and anti-glare lenses for only $79.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, Daniel Villegas, he's a man who was falsely imprisoned in the 1993 double murder and spent 20 years behind bars. Well, he's now been given the go-ahead to actually sue the city of El Paso. So the lawsuit was originally filed in 2015 and cites 3 key actions by El Paso police that impaired Villegas' rights. Now, the judge did dismiss the first of the 3, but is allowing the lawsuit to go to trial on the grounds that the police department's leaders were encouraging officers to clear cases at all costs and tolerating dishonesty while deliberately failing to supervise officers. We, of course, shared this story over to our social media accounts, and a lot of you guys had a lot of thoughts you wanted to share with us. So we're going to start with Agustin Garitas, who writes, "Guess who's paying? El Paso, Texas residents." Sonny Macias says they need to have that money come out of the police pension. Corina Garcia writes, wasn't he charged with some recent violent crime, assault? How is this justice? People that are innocent don't repeat bad. And Denise Kling writes, I pray that he can find peace and then move on with his life. I can't imagine spending that many years in prison for something he did not do. Of course, to read the full story of this, of the judge's ruling allowing the lawsuit to proceed, just head on over to our website. That's KTSM.com. And here at KTSM, of course, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you are following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. All right, well, UTEP has launched the 915 campaign and is seeking members by September 15th. We're going to tell you how you can actually score some football tickets as low as $9.15 a little later in this newscast. This is KTSM 9 Plus, always putting local first.
Assistance, 160-point inspection, and more. Take a test drive today at 6330 Montana.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back. Okay, so check this out. Powerball is offering its 7th largest jackpot in game history. The grand prize now sits at $815 million after last night's drawing saw no ticket matching the winning numbers. The next chance to play will be tomorrow night. Meanwhile, 2 tickets sold in Georgia and Texas matched all 5 white balls to win $1 million.
815 million.
That's crazy.
Monica, come on, call me when it's a billion.
It's not enough, is it?
It's
That's
never
so
enough.
funny.
And after we buy hair care products, we'll still have $814 million left.
Oh my gosh, Robert. So hey, you were telling me Chaparral is a hot spot right now.
Yeah, they've got these storms, so it always goes for the northeast quadrant of El Paso County, or it aims for Chaparral. It seems to be the case this year. Take a look at our tower camera, and I know we were trying to pan a little bit over to the left.
Side? Can you
and
guys
you
do
can
that?
actually see the clouds in the distance over there.
Yeah.
If we actually pan that camera
Let's
toward go toward the north and toward the east, you'll see, no, the other direction toward, toward the east. It's not responding. That's okay. I'll show it to you on the radar composite. Here are the high temperatures so far today. Certainly hot enough to get things going. 93 El Paso, 95 Juarez, 93 Las Cruces, 93 Alamogordo, 94 Deming, and 75 in Ruidoso. Now, we only had really a slight chance of a direct storm today. But look at this. The monsoonal flow is back. It had moved over toward Arizona, but now we're back in business. We're going to have a much better chance of thunder showers by tomorrow afternoon and evening. We'll see widely scattered storms. And a look at the radar composite right now. Of course, you see the towering cumulus clouds all around the El Paso area, but really only one that's made it and materialized of any significance, and that's right here. Look at Chaparral. Look at that. Moderate to heavy rainfall coming down at this point. So obviously, drive in monsoon mode. Don't go into a flooded roadway. This thing will pass quickly tonight, and tomorrow we'll see more widely scattered thunderstorms just like that. I want the rainfall back. Don't want it to flood, but we need to catch up on our rain. 93 is the temperature in Las Cruces. Right now we've got a dew point at 41. Yesterday, of course, low dew points here on the border. They're mid-50s and climbing. Here are the temperatures in your area right now. Now, Chaparral reporting 93. We'll check back in on that in a little bit because that's going to be rain cooled down quickly to probably the mid to lower 80s. Here are the other temperatures in your area right now and your exclusive 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. Here come the thunder showers, widely scattered by the afternoon. Brief heavy rainfall is likely out of some storms. High temperature 95. Yes, we're going to have the dew points on the high side. Very muggy. Thank you, Marco Steve, for this. Is that a butterfly? For the allergy forecast, 9s across the board, and that's in the high range next 3 days. Lows tonight, 68 Alamogordo, 64 Deming, 72 Juarez, and 69 for Van Horn. High temperatures tomorrow, 90 for Alamogordo, 93 Deming, and 95 for Juarez. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, I'm putting in that slight chance of an isolated storm developing this evening, 67, the low temperature. If you don't get it tonight, way better chance tomorrow with a high of 92 degrees. For us at the airport tonight, we've got isolated storms, and specifically the one near Chaparral right now. Widely scattered thunder showers, much better rain chance for our forecast tomorrow. High temperature 95 degrees. Now, only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Thursday, we'll re-downgrade that to isolated storms as we go up to 98. Similar pattern on Friday. There's a chance of storms. 98 degrees, a hot day, but then the weekend comes in and the thunderstorm chances really go up, especially on Sunday with strong storms and heavy rain possible at times on Monday with a high of 89. Don't go anywhere. More KTSM 9 News coming up in just a moment.
We win big. We are Glasheen Vias Ninderman, injury law.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, UTEP has launched the 915 campaign and is seeking members by September 15th. Now, UTEP says fans can contribute as little as $9.15 a month to the Talent Acquisition Fund. Those who contribute will be able to buy 2 tickets to the UTEP game versus ULM on September 20th for just $9.15 each. UTEP says the TAF funds are essential to help coaches recruit and retain talented student athletes. The 915 campaign is an opportunity for all UTEP fans to get involved and make a difference in their efforts to put championship caliber teams on the playing field. Well, in other news, the city of Asylum Park is actually celebrating the start of construction on a new Valero Travel Center. Among the attendees was the mayor. Check it out. So the mayor of Asylum Park and Fast Track Travel reps were part of this ceremony, and this new truck stop is located on McNutt and Pete Domenici Boulevard, which connects to Artcraft and is near the Santa Teresa port of entry. It is also a connecting point to the city of Asylum Park through McNutt Road.
One of our priorities is to continue to diversify the economy. This is one of those things that we can capitalize on, is capitalizing on the flow of traffic that comes in through the area. I know with the border highway extension, that's another opportunity that's going to be opening up for us. So hopefully there's going to be further investors looking to expand their businesses here within the city of Asylum Park.
Now, this travel center is expected to be finished in 12 months. All right, well, don't go anywhere. We still have a lot more to share with you right after this break. This is KTSM 9 Plus, your digital show.
the iconic multi-platinum selling album, Why Can't We Be Friends? War, live.
Welcome back to KTSM 9 News Plus, your digital show. El Paso police want your help in finding a missing 69-year-old man. He's been identified as George Ramsey and was last seen on Monday. According to police, Ramsey was allowed to leave a foster home but did not return at the scheduled time. Ramsey is described as being 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighs 264 pounds, has blue eyes, and is balding. He has medical conditions which makes him a missing endangered person. He was last seen walking. He was wearing a white t-shirt, black shorts, knee-high white socks, and black shoes. Anyone with information is asked to call police. And in case you missed it yesterday, some New Mexico state lawmakers got a behind-the-scenes tour at the ICE-run Otero County Processing Center, detaining immigrants. New Mexico Republican lawmakers say the tour is ahead of a Democratic plan to get rid of facilities that detain immigrants. The processing center is owned by Otero County, and the county has a contract with ICE, which operates the facility. It comes ahead of a possible special session where Democratic New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham has raised the possibility of addressing immigration detention facilities.
We were happy to see that the facilities were very clean. They were very transparent, even allowing us access directly into the detainees' quarters. The administration has indicated that they're not interested in opening any more camps. What we worry is that she's going to close the existing camps. That's 500 of some wonderful, well-paying New Mexico jobs here in our state.
Now, the governor was also invited by the bipartisan group to tour this facility, but she declined the offer to attend. A spokesperson for the governor says that it's too early to say if she's planning a bill that would address these types of facilities. Well, Texas lawmakers took a step toward a new standard for public education today. Most agree they want to get rid of the state's standardized STAR test, but figuring out what to replace it with has Republicans and Democrats split. Capitol Bureau reporter Dylan McKim breaks down the proposed plan and the latest changes.
Currently, students in elementary and middle schools take an end-of-year STAR test. Those results play a role in how a school is graded by the state. The proposed replacement is a series of 3 smaller tests spaced throughout the year
to eliminate the high-stakes environment.
The intention is to reduce anxiety and stress on students and teachers. But some teacher advocates worry it will have the opposite effect.
What we have heard from educators is that they are seeing this as more standardized testing, more high-stakes testing as opposed to less.
The Association of Texas Professional Educators is closely tracking amendments, which include tweaks for kindergarten students all the way up to high school end-of-course exams. Supporters of the bill say it will help schools understand how kids are progressing throughout the year,
which has never been done before in Texas. That is a way that we get better achievement, and in that keeps the conservatorships out of the class, or out of the school districts.
Nothing is official yet. Lawmakers in the Senate and the House will need to agree on a final plan. Advocates hope the state will not penalize bad-performing schools in the first couple of years the test is rolled out.
So pausing the system seemed like a prudent issue to build that trust with educators.
In Austin, I'm Dylan McKim.
Well, the House officially passed its plan this afternoon, and the Senate is scheduled to vote on its own plan later on today. The plans are not identical, so lawmakers will have to iron out the differences before it can become law. And the earliest it could replace the STAR test would be the 2027-28 school year. All right, let's go ahead and switch gears here a little bit and talk about weather, because it looks like we may have some activity going on here. So this is the look that our chief was talking about here. Robert, okay, so I see a little bit of a breeze going on there, very dark in the background. What are we seeing?
Well, the robot behaved. And they were able to move the camera over. Of course, you aim it at a tower. We're trying to aim it at Chaparral where we can't get a direct view. But the thunderstorm that was over Chaparral has kind of moved on at this point. But hey, we tried. Did we not?
We sure did.
Okay, 93 degrees. Today was the day, Monica, we would only have a slight chance of isolated area storms. We're going to have a much better chance of widely scattered thunder showers by tomorrow afternoon and evening. In addition to that, this Labor Day weekend is looking as though it's going to be very stormy. Good for rain chances. Makes it complicated if you have outdoor plans for the weekend. A look at this satellite radar composite. Yesterday, all that moisture was heading directly toward Tucson and Phoenix. But now we've got our own little isolated hit or miss thunderstorms for tonight. And what I was talking about was this cell right here over Chaparral. For a few minutes, that rainfall really coming down. And thankfully that's moved on, so hopefully no flooding in that area. But these thunderstorms will be much more widely scattered for our Wednesday. So here's a quick look ahead. Tomorrow, 95, very muggy in the afternoon, widely scattered thunder showers, brief heavy rain, and then we'll see more isolated storms before we head into the weekend where it will be stormy. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Well, the president's cabinet met today, hours after the president said he's firing a Federal Reserve member in an unprecedented move. Washington correspondent Maddie Beer-Temple has the latest.
President Trump defended his attempt to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook. It comes as he tries to exert more control over the central bank, which sets interest rates.
We need people that are 100% above board.
President Trump wants to fire Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, accusing her of mortgage fraud.
Seems to have had an infraction, and she can't have an infraction.
Cook serves on the body that votes on interest rate decisions. She says she's not stepping down and argues the president lacks the authority to fire her. Presidents can fire governors for cause, but that requires a process, letting Cook answer to the charges and present evidence.
The president cannot remove them just at his whim.
George Washington University law professor Paul Schiff-Berman says firing Cook could erode the independence of the Fed.
That would have catastrophic effects for our economy.
Cook's lawyer said in a statement, quote, his attempt to fire her lacks any factual or legal basis. We will be filing a lawsuit. Also threatening a lawsuit, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker. He says he'll sue if the president follows through on comments to crack down on crime in his state.
If they decide to do it, we're going to make sure and go to court about it because, frankly, you're not allowed.
The president has floated federal intervention in Chicago like he's done in D.C.
I'm willing to go to Chicago, which is a big trouble, but we have a governor that refuses to admit he has problems.
The president is also escalating his crime crackdown in the nation's capital, calling for the death penalty in murder cases.
Anybody murders something in the capital punishment.
A Federal Reserve spokesperson said the body will continue to carry out its duties and abide by any court decision. In Washington, I'm Maddie Beer-Temple.
And in our health alert, the first human case of the flesh-eating screwworm parasite has been confirmed in the U.S. Federal health officials say the risk to the public is low, but concerns are growing in Texas, where the agriculture community is already on alert. Sophia Boslow brings us a lot more.
This is not the most appetizing thing to look at, and you would expect that from a flesh-eating parasite. The New World screwworm feeds off living flesh of warm-blooded animals. It spreads its eggs in wounds, and their larvae, or maggots, burrow their way down and chomp away.
It's a real nasty infection. I can't, describing it, will almost gross you out. So it's about as bad as anything you can imagine. Being eaten alive by a maggot is what it is.
The killer parasite has been a major concern for cattle and other livestock. There are no known cases in Texas, but 370 miles south in Mexico, there are concerns, which is why over the summer the U.S. paused cattle imports. Now on Monday, the CDC confirmed a human case detected in the U.S. in Maryland of a person who recently traveled to El Salvador. Public health officials say the risk to people from this case is low, but the news is raising eyebrows.
We think this is strictly a wildlife problem, but it does infect any mammal, which includes humans.
Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller says recently a person in Mexico died from the flesh-eating parasite, and there have been dozens of other sick people in Mexico because of it.
40 humans infected is nothing to ignore. We want to stop this pest in its tracks. We can do that.
Miller says the solution is fly bait, and they're working with a private company to stop the pest in southern Mexico. He says they would also use sterile flies produced in Panama that would stop the parasite from reproducing.
All right, well, coming up, you have already seen this monstrous dust storm probably all over your social media. Well, we're going to tell you where it happened and the damage that it brought about. Then we first brought you the story yesterday about the fight that broke out at East Lake High School involving students and an administrator. Well, this raised questions about cell phones being used during school hours. We shared the story on our social media, and we bring you your thoughts in our In the Comments segment. Thank you so much for tuning in to KTSM 9+, putting local first.
Sleep easy.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, a massive dust storm moved through Arizona, causing downed trees, power outages, and flight delays amid western wildfires ahead of a brief cool down. NBC's Morgan Chesky has more.
Overnight, a massive dust storm blanketing Phoenix. The apocalyptic scene driven by wind gusts hitting 70 miles per hour.
We just got a dust storm warning and it's coming in.
The storm, also called a haboob, turning the sky nearly black. This time-lapse video showing the dust blanketing Arizona State University's football field. The ominous clouds rolling over entire neighborhoods.
Can't see anything. We're in the middle of the haboob.
And temporarily grounding all planes at Sky Harbor Airport. Travel troubles farther west too, where thunderstorms grounded flights at LAX. Cell phone video capturing torrential rain and winds in California's Coachella Valley, whipping palm trees in near hurricane-force gales. And while the Northeast enjoys a refreshing break from summer temps, scorching heat is still fueling those West Coast wildfires. Firefighters racing to contain blazes in Oregon. In Wyoming, crucial airdrops of fire retardant slowing progress on a fire that's burned 4,000 acres and counting. While in the famous Napa Valley wine country, helicopters helping crews stay ahead of the flames. Wild weather whipping up yet again in one of summer's final weeks.
All right.
Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
You know, that is a crazy. I've never seen a haboob that big, but we get our fair share of them too.
This spring reminded me of that. I don't want to go through that again. It was very bad, very bad. And you know, my unofficial, non-scientific theory is this.
Okay.
The stronger the winds and the more dust there is in the spring, the better the monsoon.
I like that.
I've noticed they kind of
It's
sort
been
of
a really
going down.
nice monsoon, I'm not going to lie.
Yes, lots of rain, and maybe we'll get more tomorrow. I think we will.
I hope so.
Me too. All right, let's take a look at the high temperatures so far today. We've made it to 93 at the International Airport, 95 Juarez, 93 Las Cruces, 94 Deming, 89 in Silver City. Now, yesterday I told you we had a chance of little isolated storms, really just a slight chance today. The good chance comes tomorrow. That's when we fully charge up with moisture, instability. Once we hit about 95 degrees in the afternoon, here come the thunder showers, widely scattered. Expect those storms to be little pinpoint hit or miss isolated storms tonight, and we still have a chance for more. We've had one cell move through Chaparral earlier this afternoon, and we've got some action forming just south of the border down here. So we're going to watch this radar composite tonight. I'm not really nervous. I don't think the atmosphere could unlock a tremendous amount of rainfall tonight, but it can do things like this, which is this thunderstorm that cruised right through the heart of Chaparral. The rain was really intense for a few minutes, but then it moved on down the line. Tonight we'll keep that chance of little isolated storms in the forecast for a while tonight, tapering off, clear tomorrow morning, and then here come the thunder showers tomorrow. 92 in Las Cruces. You two have a very slight chance of isolated storms tonight. Way better chance for tomorrow. Here are the temperatures in your area right now. Notice Chaparral has dropped down thanks to that thunderstorm to about 85 degrees. Here is your exclusive 9-hour forecast for tomorrow. High 95, dew point temperatures mid-50s, very muggy. And then here come those thunder showers with brief heavy rain potentially by late tomorrow afternoon. Your allergy forecast, 9s across the board. Next 3 days, high range. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, I want to keep that storm chance in. Not a great chance, but there's a chance. 67 low temperature tonight, 92 your high tomorrow. Here come the thunder showers. I think you've got a much better opportunity for rain. 72 our low temperature tonight. Little isolated storms still active for a while, clearing out, hitting it again tomorrow. Much better chances. 95 the high temperature. Now only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Thursday and Friday, we get a brief bubble of high pressure, which will raise us to 98 degrees. I do want to keep a chance of isolated area storms in the forecast. Not quite as good as on Wednesday, but a chance. But then once we cruise into our Labor Day weekend, Saturday, scattered thunder showers that day, 96. 92 with potentially strong storms on Sunday. That atmosphere becomes very unstable on Sunday. On Monday, cloudy skies. We have the potential for some heavy rain, even in the morning hours that day. And then thunder showers Tuesday, isolated storms Wednesday, slight chance on Thursday. Monica.
Robert, thank you so much. Let's go ahead and take you outside now using our tech stock cameras. This is what it looks like. So we are seeing a little bit of congestion out there on I-10 Brown. So here near the downtown area, if this is your commute, just know that you are going to encounter a little bit of slow and go traffic, but overall pretty good. Well, a fight broke out at East Lake High School involving students and an administrator. This rose concerns about cell phone use during school hours. A viewer actually sent us this video that you're about to see, claiming that an administrator was trying to break up the fight and then was hit by students. The incident occurred in the cafeteria during school hours, with students recording the fight on their cell phones. Socorro ISD officials clarified that high school students are permitted to use their personal devices during lunch, which is considered non-instructional time. Now, we ended up sharing this story over to our social media accounts, and many of you had lots of thoughts you wanted to share. So Kelly Jo Apodaca says students should always be able to have access to their phones due to certain life-threatening events that could possibly occur on campus. My child will always have her phone in her backpack at all times. MDC Justin Moore says that the bigger question is why students thought it was okay to hit the administrator. Emily Rush says parents and students should be held accountable for their actions regardless of the cell phone law. Hitting an administrator or anyone else should not be okay. And then Baylon Sally writes, LOL, yes, because we cannot allow evidence of any sort to be recorded. Of course, as we told you earlier, we did reach out to Socorro ISD officials regarding both the fight and the apparent use of cell phones, and this is what they said. They actually sent us a statement saying, quote, the current implementation guidelines district-wide include that high school students are allowed to use their personal devices during lunchtime hours. Now, they do go on to say that regarding the student discipline, campuses follow the student code of conduct, and information about specific student records is protected by law and cannot be released, end quote. In fact, the district officials went on to say that the district is considering updates to its guidelines as it receives more information about this new law. And here at KTSM, of course, we value your opinion and we want to hear more from you. So make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Más Las Cruces.
Hi, I'm Scott Rogers. I'm with the City of Las Cruces, and I have questions. Why is it so hard to put down a book on anti-gravity? Why are they called apartments if they're all stuck together? I'm friends with 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why. Some mysterious person keeps adding dirt to my garden. The plot thickens. Life is full of mysteries. But what happens behind the scenes of your local government does not have to be one of them. September 3rd at 6 p.m. in City Hall, we'll host the first of 11 sessions looking at what happens in city departments behind the scenes. We'll learn everything from Parks and Rec to Public Works, from the fire department to finance. This 11-week course will be offered a la carte, which means you get to pick the sessions you like the most or attend them all. For more information, follow the link below, and we'll see you September the 3rd.
Más Las Cruces.
station that puts local first. Sponsored by Las Palmas del Sol Healthcare.
We have some live cameras for you. We've got your 9-day forecast first. 95 the high temperature for tomorrow with brief heavy rain likely with some thunder showers. Isolated storms Thursday and Friday, and then a very stormy Labor Day weekend. 96 on Saturday. The strongest storms, I think, potentially could hit on Sunday with a high of 92. On Monday, it's going to be a very cloudy day, cooler, 89, very muggy. But we also face thunder showers and moments of heavy rainfall could be mixed in on Monday. I know it's Labor Day, no fun there, but just be aware of this potential for our weekend ahead. Now we have live cameras for you.
Okay.
Now, Ruidoso technically under a flash flood warning for another 30 minutes or so. They've had some pretty heavy rainfall. You can see people, though. Don't you love the commute, Ruidoso?
I do, and I even love being there while it rains because you have these big raindrops coming down. It's almost hard to believe how beautiful it looks up there raining.
I love it.
I love it
up there.
So, okay, you're telling me it's going to rain for my Labor Day weekend?
I
What
know.
are you saying?
I know, but as long as there's no lightning, you're fine. Remember, you can be in a pool if there's no lightning and you can still have a great time.
Is that what? Okay, and the temperatures don't look that bad either.
No, it's going to be very mild, 90s. It's going to be pretty muggy. We've enjoyed it last weekend with perfection. I like it sunny and dry too,
Yeah.
so I liked it, but it will be the opposite this coming Labor Day weekend. So as long as we know in advance, hey, weather could be a problem, we'll make plans for that.
All right, not bad. So the biggest day to watch out is when?
Sunday is the day that concerns me. The instability goes crazy on that day, so we want to watch that day.
All right. Awesome. Robert, thank you so much, and thank you for tuning in to KTSM 9+. Don't go anywhere. We have Estela Casas up next.
Hair and wardrobe provided by